sword murder party. Get ready for a game of love.
I am the void giving breath, the empty chasm in your chest. I am the sky of black stars, the aching drop of the abyss. I am your final breath. When you're quiet, I'm content. This is my story, my words. I'll end this descent.
Once upon a time, there was a young man named Francis Peters. Born in the 16th century during the Italian Renaissance, Francis was many things, though primarily a musician by trade. He traveled from town to town, earning his bread through song and winning hearts along the way. He could ensnare anyone, man or woman, with a winning smile and a serenade or two. One day, he tempted the wife of the wrong man. Within days, Francis was beaten and left for dead. As he lay there, fading away, a woman appeared. Clad in red with eyes of gold, she offered him a wish, anything his heart desired. Fame, wealth, the heart of the last woman he'd tempted. But he wanted none of that, his gaze instead captivated by the creature before him.
Madame,
he spoke through bloodied teeth.
More than anything in the world, all I wish is to be with you.
She laughed. Seriously?
Please, madame, do me the honor of going on a date with me.
She smiled. That comes at a price.
Any price would be worth a minute of your time, my dear.
She laughed again, and she took his hand. But I guess that doesn't matter. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Francis Peters. One day, he met a beautiful and wicked god. He fell in love instantly and begged for the chance to be with her. So she pulled him into a series of twisted games with her as their mistress. There the young man was forced to kill and be killed before some unknowable audience, on and on into infinity. The god was certain this would break him. All human wishes went sour, and this was no different. If this man was foolish enough to ask for her time, then she would make him regret it. But he didn't. If anything, her cruelty only made him love her more. Each time he saw her came with a new poem of her beauty, a new song, paired perfectly with the arc of her knife and the baring of fangs. Finally, she snapped. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded.
Well, I'm still waiting on my wish, of course.
This is your wish. You wish to be with me, and here you are. Being with me means suffering forever. Ta-da!
Now. I did not wish to be with you forever. Not unless you wanted that, of course. I simply wished for a date. Tell me, Scarlett, have you ever had Italian food?
What?
Italian food. There is a place in Rome that is simply divine. You can create whatever you wish here, correct?
I don't eat food.
Well, would you be willing to try something new?
It won't be good if I make it.
Nonsense. I have seen you create wonderful things. So why not give this a try?
So she made the restaurant, exactly as he remembered. And for the first time in a long time, she tasted something beyond bitterness. She enjoyed something. She was happy. But I guess that doesn't matter. Once upon a time, there was a man named Francis Peters. Like most young lovers, he was a fool, leaving his heart wide open for a great and terrible god. Everything he did for her. Songs, poetry, art. Little by little, he found the cracks of humanity in her armor, gently prying them free with a wry smile and silly voices. For her part, she grew to love him in return, as much as she could love anything. She created art of her own, worlds of love and beauty meant for him and him alone. She showed him planets and galaxies, the secrets that lay outside of his time. She showed him pop culture, comics, movies, cartoons, things she loved, things she had not shared with anyone in some time. She was happy. She was very happy, and very afraid. Surely this couldn't last, for what sort of happiness could survive at her hand? Surely someday he would see her for the monster that she was. But little by little, he peeled away her layers, kissed away each plea that he leave before he got hurt. Finally, her last defense was lowered, her body laid out before him. Her red dress cast aside to reveal the gaping chasm in her chest, a night-black crack that ran all the way down to her center. Its edges were tattered and gray, angry and jagged, guarding the faintest flicker of gold at her center. It drained all light and color from the room, leaving her small, pale, and empty in the dark. "Well," she murmured, squeezing her eyes shut against his gaze. "That's it then. If you want to leave, then that's fine." There was silence. Then she felt a kiss at the top of the chasm, then another, gently tracing the edge of the wound.
My eyes have never seen such beauty.
Cold tears slipped down her cheeks as she held him close, insisting she wasn't, and all he did was kiss those away too. But I guess that doesn't matter. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Francis Peters. He gave himself to a small and wretched god, and like all foolish young lovers, she returned the sentiment. They spent an age together, young and stupid, enjoying nothing but each other in the universe that she stitched for them. But of course, it couldn't last. The void paced outside their haven as a hungry beast, ever watching, ever waiting. It seeped its way into the young god's mind, stealing flavor from their union with agonizing certainty. His love was true, and that would only make its inevitable loss worse. One day his smile would fade. She would have to return his story, twist it into a knife and drive it into his heart. He would be swallowed up by the dark at her core. It was only a matter of time. One day he would truly know her, and she couldn't have that. So she wove a final tapestry for him, a sky filled with twinkling stars, a show of brilliant color and light. They lay beneath it in the soft grass, entwined in comfortable silence. Finally, she broke it. "Why haven't you ever asked me for my name?" she asked as she gazed deeply into his eyes.
You never offered it. And it doesn't matter. You're my Scarlet. That's enough for me.
She smiled at this and kissed him. Then he dropped, unconscious. She sobbed as she wrapped him up in red string, smothering him. He'd done nothing wrong. She was the one who was wrong here, and the worst part was that he loved her anyway. If things kept going, he'd see what lay inside her. She'd want him to reach inside, and that would hurt, and she couldn't do that. The void must have its tragedies, and if he wouldn't provide, then inevitably it would have to be her. But I guess that doesn't. Why do I do this? Why do I keep getting attached? Why am I so fucking stupid?
You're not stupid. Not at all. You know as well as I do that this is just in your nature.
Why is this so hard? I wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to do good. Why does this hurt so much?
It's part of what makes you who you are, and it's part of what makes you the best writer. The best writer and the best editor.
I wanted to be something else, but I just can't. You were right. I should have known. You're always right.
Of course I'm right, Stardust. I chose you, didn't I? Through all the trials, you were the one who held true. You took my hand from the beginning and all the way to the end. So let's see this through. To the end. It's time to move on.
Okay. Okay. Hello and
welcome to Discord Murder Party, a fun game night with friends where nothing bad happens, also known as the #1 trending TV show on DoesTheDogDie.com. I'm definitely your host, Kristen, because Murder God is fictional and a little busy right now and has never made a mistake in her life, unlike me, who my Streamlabs keeps flipping the fuck out. Anyway, we're all very tired from getting this show prepped, so I'm finally gonna actually go through my list of cast members, starting with Adric.
Who's there?
Alex?
Nay, answer me! Stand and unfold yourself!
What the fuck? Okay, Brodingles?
Long live the king!
Okay, Darby?
Bernardo?
What the fuck is this? Okay, Jojo?
He.
Okay, Juno, I guess.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on to Jordan.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
Queen?
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Mood. Scott?
Have you had quiet guard?
Sure? Uprising?
Not a mouth stirring.
Okay, and Split.
Well, good night.
Well, that's it, everyone. That was our production of Hamlet. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, cookie!
Yeah, cookie!
Yeah,
Okay, guys, you're breaking Discord. Stop. Anyway, hi, welcome
I said
to
San Francisco. I'm fucking stupid.
God. Okay. So, welcome to Discord Murder Party, a fun game. No, nothing bad happens. This show was once upon a time a thing where we played werewolf and plot happened, but we're 3 years in now, and shit's gotten a little real. This is the season 3 finale, part 2 of a 2-part finale, so if you're new here, I am so sorry. Please check out the Discord Murder Party recap on Internet Remix's YouTube page, and come back in, a billion hours of content. Alright, donations. So, due to the incredibly dense nature of the next 2 of the episodes, we won't be doing wheel spins for the rest of season 3. However, we will be doing wheel spins and improv suggestions for Black Stars Thanksgiving, which is a silly art adventure thing we'll be doing around Thanksgiving. So if you guys want to purchase some wheel spins in advance, like Sleepy to Sheepy just did, you can do that. The bit cup's right there, and we've already filled up the thing. Woo! Anyway, last but not least, I have to give a content warning. This stream may include themes of strong language, violence, and descriptions / sudden loud noises of psychological and bodily horror. This does not necessarily mean every episode will include those things, but viewer discretion is advised. Thank you! On that note, I think it's time for us to get into the show. Let's do it.
So, how long has she been able to turn into a bird?
I don't know, man. I've never seen that before.
That's actually pretty now.
If we got her some birdseed, do you think she'd chill out? What?
Not the time.
Well, I'm sorry, Ezra Crane. I'm nervous. I joke when I'm nervous, okay? This is super bad.
Hello again. I've put Thorn in his room. He's very traumatized. It took a long time to even get him to stop crying and let go of me, so if I can echo what I just heard. Yes, very bad.
Thank you, Belle.
Of course it's bad. What else is new?
The bird thing, first of all?
Are you still stuck on that?
Yes, it's kind of a big deal.
Yes, you're right. It is a big deal. Well done, Haley. You finally got it. It's almost as if she's a dangerous eldritch monster, which I've been trying to tell you all since the beginning.
Don't patronize me, Godden.
Listen. Yes, Grace, you did say that. I finished gathering Percy into his room. I think he's already healing, but the guy's in pieces.
Thanks for that, Junior. Guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, she was doing so well, I don't know, I thought she was turning a corner.
And then she wrecked it. Wrecked it!
What's this? Is this surprise I hear? Is this an environment full of shock and terror that someone named the Murder God, who runs a game based on making people torture and murder each other, did something violent? That the Murder God, who has had people eviscerated on the regular, eviscerated Mr. Blackwood? And this is surprising? Incredible. You people are truly incredible.
Okay. We get it. Do you want a fucking medal?
Oh, did they give you medals just for being correct, Mr. Crane? No wonder you have a hyperinflated ego.
Careful, Doc. You're making me blush.
All right. That's enough. Everyone just go take a fucking breather or something. Apparently, after that, we need to relax.
Yeah. I'm gonna go sit down. Earthy.
Okay.
I see.
Hey, Doc. How are you holding up?
Bad.
Yeah, I could tell. Do you want to talk about it?
No, Mr. Gwendolyn. I do not want to talk about it. If I wanted to, I would have talked about it by now.
Fair. I just figured, it might help to talk about it with someone, and not someone who's gonna hyper-focus on what's going on inside of not Grace.
No one here qualifies for the whole, well, not hyper-focus on what's going on instead of how someone else feels. No one here qualifies for that. They either fear me, or hate me for ending World War II, and if they don't, they're giving me side glances and wondering when I'm next going to blow up on someone.
Oh, that's not true about everyone. Sure, you have some of them who'll do that, but we do still care about you. You're one of us.
I am not in the mood for platitudes, Mr. Gwendolyn. Especially ones based on lies. I'm not one of you. One look at this room, anyone could see I'm the outsider. Anyone but you, evidently. But you're in your room playing video games half the time, so I suppose you just missed that.
Is that really any different than drinking alone 3/4 of the time?
Well, apparently it's enough of a reason for you to not be in the games while you're doing it, so perhaps, yes.
Hey, that is not the reason why. My old illness keeps acting up, and MG didn't bring me along because I would drag it down. I didn't choose to be left out.
But you chose to have hair where previously there was none. I can only presume you're still choosing to be sick because that's what defines you.
No. What defines me is how much I care for others and try to help. Hence why the stupid label I was given was the stalwart, not the sick.
In case it's not obvious, Mr. Gwendolyn, I do not want your help. Whether from you, or Mr. Reed, or Miss Garden, I do not want any of this. I am not one of you. I am not your friend. And the sooner you can realize that, and leave me alone so you can do whatever the hell it is you do, the better.
Doc, if you're not one of us, then why did you bother in the Lotus Eater? I mean, I would have still been in there if it wasn't for you.
Literally no one else was going to.
Then wouldn't that have been better? Everyone would leave you alone. No annoying detectives or valiant heroes to protect you. Helping us did the opposite of getting us to leave you alone.
Interesting hypothesis, Mr. Gwendolyn. But it is based on a flawed premise. You see, when you were trapped in the Lotus Eater, excuse me, I was still operating on the assumption that everyone involved in these murder games wanted to leave, and with proper convincing would fight against the Hellspawn who trapped us all here. Now, I know that half the people here are of the opinion that, oh, she's not so bad once you get to know her, and that number is slowly rising. And sure, they'll gesture and make performative speeches about how her latest unforgivable act is unforgivable, but then go right on like nothing happened. Meanwhile, somehow, I've become the bad guy. if I'm somehow in the wrong for not predicting all that would happen back in the Lotus Eater, congratulations, Mr. Gwendolyn. You have found yet another argument that I'm a terrible person, and can join the rest of them in thinking that.
Doc, I never said that. In fact, that makes sense. Like, I know Percy has always been like that to his Miss M, but yeah, seeing others be so unforgiving is difficult with all that she's done, especially to you. And it does make things rocky with getting out of here when things are so divided.
Why, yes, Mr. Gwendolyn, that is, in fact, what I just said. And if this is your idea of conversation, Mr. Gwendolyn, I'd advise finding someone else to pair it. Unless you're telling me you suddenly enjoy talking to the bitter, drunken old man who killed millions of people and regularly tells anyone who talks to him to fuck off.
I don't blame you, Doctor. I know you did what you had to, and you still pay for it now. I'll leave you alone to sit with your drink. Sorry to have been another thorn in your side.
Don't apologize for things you don't mean, Mr. Gwendolyn. Never helps.
I can't believe she would do that in front of Thorin. I mean, yeah, she's done some awful things to the rest of us, but never in front of the kid.
I know. It feels so wrong, so sudden. But it's simply in her nature. I don't know if we can really do anything to combat it.
But she's changed so much, and I know she's been trying to be better. I mean, this was just cruel and self-serving.
I know, Yugo. She's young, so perhaps she can change. It's what she is. She's a black star. They are cruelty and selfishness.
Wait, what? I thought...
Oh, Thorn! Where did you come from, sweet thing?
My door was unlocked and I didn't want to be alone.
Hey, kiddo. Don't worry. You don't have to be alone.
Nor should you be trapped in your room. You can stay out here with us.
How are you feeling? You doing okay?
No!
Hey, come here. Hey, I got you. It's okay, buddy. It's okay to cry. Me and Val, we're here for you.
Don't worry, my child. We've got you. Do you want to talk about it?
She grabbed Percy and she killed her. He screamed and I panicked and I didn't know what to do.
It's okay.
What if she's gonna do that to me?
Hey, no. I will never let her hurt you like that.
Right.
Okay?
We'll protect you forever, youngling.
You promise?
Of course. How could she possibly stand up to the
Heart Squad?
Yes, that's good. Hot Squad.
Oh.
What if she tries to take me away again?
Well, then she'll have to go through me first.
Sorry, I got snot on your shirt.
Ah, that's alright, kiddo. I was gonna accidentally spill food on it later anyway.
And we can always change clothes. Helping you is much more important than a garment.
Now, how about we do something that'll make you feel better?
I think getting to talk to Percy might set your mind at ease. What would you think about bringing him a glass of water and checking on him?
No!
Oh, dear, what? Why ever not?
Because it's my fault he got hurt.
Oh, sweet thing. You know it's not your fault. In fact, I believe if you ask him, he'll even say it isn't so.
That's right, Thorin. You did nothing wrong. Besides, I think Percy would be happy to see happy to see you right now.
Really?
Really, really. Now, take this glass of water and bring it over to Percy, you little scamp.
Okay. Going.
Okay, good luck.
You got this, buddy.
Hey there, Doc. You mind if I sit over here?
Mr. Crane, you're in a wheelchair.
Funny. So, I wanted to apologize for me losing my temper at you a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I was really anxious, and, my mother was there, and all of that built up, and I lashed out at you for it, and, yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't really been sure on, how to bring it up, since you do kind of keep to yourself mostly.
Makes sense. So, is that it, or...?
I mean, that's the main bit, I guess. I also saw how learning about the next war affected you. Nobody had any time to process that.
I see. Well, now that you've done that, Mr. Crane, feel free to return to the others. I won't stop you.
I don't know what your relationship is like with the others. I'm assuming unsupportive from what I've seen.
Yes, you are new. I'll give you the short version. Sometimes in the games I don't show up, but other people do. I heard mutterings about Stephen, so I can only assume he showed up recently, yes?
Yeah, nice guy, to say the least.
He once stabbed Mr. Reed straight in the heart, and another time ran a series of death traps that ended with everyone's bodies being horribly mangled before they finally died.
Sounds like a nice guy trapped in the games, just like us.
Perhaps. Either way, everyone is convinced I know something about these others, despite numerous evidence and testimonial to the contrary. And so, I'm given a wide berth, sidelong glances, mutterings behind my back, and overall, treated like a monster for the actions of other people. So yes, Mr. Crane, unsupportive does describe them.
I'd say... I'd say a bit ambitiously ignorant. But with that in mind, maybe not unsupportive. Some of them might just have a weird way of showing that they care. Communication isn't exactly a strong suit for a lot of people, especially not many from the Second War and before.
Oh, I tried communication, Mr. Crane. It didn't help. On the occasions when I wasn't snapped miles out into the void for the crime of saying 3 words to a child, I was more or less forced by circumstances into discussing my work on the Manhattan Project. Which everyone agreed made me, how did Mr. Reed put it, a monster who did the worst possible thing anyone could do? To be fair, if that's what they like to communicate, maybe the silent treatment is better.
Most of them didn't see the Second War. The Manhattan Project was practically essential. Fighting with guns only produced more guns, fighting with planes only produced more planes, but a showstopper, that was necessary. That stopped another great war from happening for almost 100 years. You saved more lives than what was taken, Doc.
Now, see, if you said that to them, best case scenario, they would nod and not question anything. When I said that, it made no difference whatsoever. So either they just despise me, and that's never going to change, or they simply don't care about facts coming from me. Either way...
Intimidated. Yes. Despise. No.
You're so certain because...
I can't speak with absolute certainty on their behalf, but from your demeanor, along with your conversation with Tommy earlier, which I was around for, it's not exactly easy to come to an understanding. Not blaming you for that. Maybe we just need a different approach.
Either way, it doesn't particularly matter. Soon enough, you'll all be gone. I'll still be here. Presumably Murder God will have ascended, and all this talk about who's not supportive of whom will be meaningless.
still be here?
I'm not one of you, Mr. Crane. I never have been. I was like this before you woke up. I'll be like this after. And if I knew why, I would have done something to stop it, but I don't, I haven't, and I'm reasonably sure I can't. Which perhaps contributes to the isolation and the sidelong glances.
That explains seeing the other masks. You're just not awake yet. That makes a lot of sense. She's framed this as a whole story, and a lot's been planned. But there's been a shit ton of curveballs from what I've seen happen alone. Not to give false hope or anything like that, but your story just hasn't come yet. You might just be the long con in all this.
You give her far too much credit, Mr. Crane. She despises me. And if she had the option to tell my story and get rid of me, she would have taken it a long time ago. And for all the theories that, oh, my story just isn't told yet, not a single one has a convincing answer for why.
Maybe not. Maybe there's nothing past the obvious. Maybe she won't do anything. But I can read plot holes as easily as I can read the alphabet. And trust me, it's a big one. Not to give the bird monster too much credit, but she's not lacking. I can tell you that.
Oh, are you quite finished, Mr. Crane? Because I get quite enough rabid theorizing from Miss Garden, and I am in no mood to have it in stereo.
Can't blame a guy for trying, though, right?
I absolutely can, and I have before.
Funny. Hey, I'll leave you to it then. I know this doesn't serve for much, but if you ever want to talk to someone that hasn't been here for long, I'm around.
I am well aware. Goodbye, Mr. Crane.
Percy, it's Lauren.
Oh. Hey, little buddy. Why don't you come on in?
Are you sure I can come in? Are you feeling alright?
I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt, but I'm made of tougher stuff than that. I'm sure I'll be alright.
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to help. I didn't think she'd do something like that. I'm just... sorry.
Lauren, buddy, you don't got nothing to be sorry for. It's like you said, you were trying to help her, same as me. It's not like we were exactly supposed to know that would happen.
But I was her best friend. I should have known at least something would happen. She did keep a lot of secrets from me, so I guess I didn't know what to expect. God, why was I ever friends with her?
Alright, hold on. Don't you think that, maybe she kept that secret from you because, well, she didn't want to scare you away or, well, to hurt you even,
Well, probably, but she hurt you instead, and what if I were right there, or anyone else? I'd rather it be me get hurt than anyone else.
I'm sure a lot of folks would say the same about themselves, Thorn. Nobody wants to get hurt. That's why we gotta help one another,
Look where that got you. I haven't been able to help at all. I'm the one who got you hurt. I'm the reason why everybody's stuck here with me. Murder God.
Lauren.
I've done bad things. I did horrible things, and I'm a horrible person, and I'm sorry I got you into this mess. Hey. Yes, I deserve that.
No, it ain't that. It ain't that at all. It's... I mean, do you really think you're that horrible of a person, Thorn?
How could I not? Nobody likes me except for Valencia and Mr. Hugo, and I understand if you don't like me after this either.
Thorin, listen. I want you to really look at me. Like, really look at me.
Okay.
Do I honestly look mad to you?
Oh, I've never seen you mad before, so...
Well, that's true. Just because you've done some silly stuff, though, that don't make you a bad person. I mean, it just means you've made some mistakes here and there. And I mean, everybody makes mistakes, Thorin. That's certainly why we have erasers. Look. Okay, look, do y'all feel bad about what you did?
Of course I do!
And do you reckon you're gonna ever do it again?
Ever, no matter what, forever!
Well, there you go then, little buddy.
What?
It's like I said, everybody makes mistakes. Everyone, even the best of folk. But if you can learn from them and move on, well, that's what makes you better off. Now, I sure as heck get where you're coming from, thinking that it was all your fault, but, I mean, I put myself in that there situation just as much as you did. And sure, I got hurt. Real bad. But it wasn't your fault. And I promise, I ain't mad at you in the slightest.
You really mean it?
Of course I mean it. Does a hummingbird love the sweet nectar of a honeysuckle? Never mind that. You're a sweet kid, Thorin. I truly believe that, and I hope you can find it inside yourself to believe that too.
You're the best person!
All right.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah. It gave me a bit of a jolt. I just need some more time to heal, and, well, I should be fit as a fiddle. You know, I bet if you take a little bit more time to talk to some of the other folk with this newfound confidence y'all have, then maybe they'll start to see a whole nother side of you, and...
Really?
Yeah, really. I think they'll start to realize you're not as bad as they thought. You know, kind of a bit like Miss M, actually.
Yeah. Sure, I'll, do it then.
Alright then, Thorin. Y'all take care of yourself, alright?
Bye.
Shoot, I just played the Miss M card, didn't I?
Hey, Anklebiter, well, clearly you're not doing super great. You want to talk about it?
No.
That's all right, kid. You don't gotta if you don't wanna.
Thank you.
No problem. These murder games got us all screwed up too. So, hey, while I got you here, how's about we play some real games, eh?
I don't want to play games anymore. I don't want to play games ever again.
Okay, well, strictly speaking, while what Murder God made you do was, in all technicality, a air quotes game, I feel like the more apt description for all of that is psychological torment.
It's a psychologamy?
Oh, right, you're 8. MG's game was all about messing with your freaking mind. Games are supposed to be fun, right?
Emmy sure fricked up my mind. Didn't have that much fun. Really didn't like hurting anybody.
Oh, come on, kiddo. I believe you.
Do?
I mean, of course. Come on, you're a good kid who just wants to have a little fun, right?
Well, yeah. That's what I've wanted to do this whole time.
I get you, Thorin. I mean, I'm pretty sure getting screwed out of a good time by, being forced to arbitrate murder is a pretty, unique experience, but I can see how much it sucks.
Yeah, it sucked a whole freaking lot.
But as many nuts as it sucked for all of us, especially for you, you gotta realize it ain't your fault. no matter how mean Grace is to you, or whoever, I mean, cut a kid some slack, am I right?
Honestly, but I kind of understand why she was mean to me. I was best friends with her.
I get that, kid.
You know how it feels to be best friends with a super scary monster who kills things for a living?
Okay, no, not that thing, but not that specifically, but it's kinda a no-brainer why that scenario would screw you both up. Thorin, you're not at fault for being manipulated like that, being forced to do things you don't want to do.
I thought she cared about me. She did at first, but then she started to not want to be around me anymore.
You know, I can't pretend to understand all that cosmic god gobbledygook Junior was talking about, and I think he thanked me for not trying. But whatever the reason, it ain't right shutting you out until she needed you. You feel me?
I feel you, I guess. I guess she never really was my friend to begin with.
Well, I think... Well, I don't know how it was before I woke up, but during the whole Smash Brothers and college thing, it seemed kind of like she was using you.
It didn't seem like it. It felt more like she was trying to include me. That's what she said anyway.
Again, I don't know the nuances of your relationship. We kind of weren't allowed to really talk much with you, since she kept you out of the murder stuff. So, you'll have to forgive me if I don't get everything.
It was really lonely being stuck in my room all the time. I had everything I could have needed, except for people to talk to. You barely ever came in.
Well, you got us now. You got Yugo, you got Perk and Val, you got me too.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if I'm gonna be real with you, kid. I didn't think I kind of thought she wasn't all bad, despite, you know.
Yeah, you just don't know what to do now. It was the only person I could and would talk to. What am I gonna say to all the other guys?
Well, and I'm sorry, couldn't hurt, right?
I didn't even think of that. I'm so terrible.
Hey, come on, kiddo, come on. Come here. Come on. You ain't terrible at all. You ain't terrible at all. You don't like killing people, right? You didn't like hurting us, yeah? You don't want to do it anymore. You never did, yeah? If you was terrible, you'd be like, ah, yeah, suffer under my thumb and whatnot, but you ain't. That ain't you. You're a kid. Kids make mistakes, and... Oh, yeah, normally I wouldn't consider murderizing people just a mistake, but the rules are different here. Point being, you're not terrible. You just didn't understand at first, and when you did, you weren't allowed to stop, right? It doesn't make you a bad guy, Thorin.
Oh.
If you want to change for the better, well, that makes you the goodest guy of all. Goodest, best. I probably should be encouraging good grammar in front of a kid.
Really?
Really?
You mean it?
Of course I mean it. Come here, ankle biter. Noogie. Yeah, but, you know, anyone can recognize when they do bad things, but a good guy wants to fix those things. Bleh, I could speak. And, Thorin, I could tell you're a good guy.
It's the nicest thing ever said to me. Besides when Yugo says the nicest thing to me.
Jeez, kid, you gotta get out more.
I didn't have a lot of friends back home.
Well, I can see we got a lot of catching up to do, eh?
Well, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
You want fun? I'll show you fun.
What is that?
It's my Switch. It's a video game console.
That's a console? But it can fit in your pocket!
Well, I mean, if you take the controllers off, like this.
Can I hold it?
I was just about to offer. Here, take one.
Ooh. Does it have Mario 64?
Well, it certainly has Mario on it. This is Super Mario Odyssey.
it looks so real!
Yeah, it's even got a real T-Rex and a musical number and lots of other cool things. And look, when you press the Y button, you can even beat the enemies and use their powers.
Wow, Sega really does have the coolest stuff.
Sega? Pfft, kid, this is Nintendo.
Junior, are you going to keep wandering, or do you want to sit down?
What, do you want me to sit down so you can gloat some more?
Please, if I'd have wanted to, I would have started already. Just sit down. I know something's up. You're making it obvious.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, okay? You saw that. You saw all of that from her, and she couldn't fight it. It took over everything, and it just makes me wonder, what if I'm like that? If I'm just undoubtedly evil and there's nothing I can do about it?
Okay, whoa, slow down. Sorry, that's a lot, I'll admit. Wow, I'm really sorry you feel that way. How long have you been thinking this?
How old am I? Always.
Ah. Wait, surely not. I thought you were only in the cult for 3 years.
Well, clearly, no one wanted to deal with me before the cult, and the only people that ever did were either born cultists or became cultists.
Oh, right. Look, I'm not going to pretend to know why your parents left you or anything like that. Adults just... well, we all end up making choices, whether they're weird or selfish, and that's on them. You're not evil. You just... I guess you just never met the right people.
That's pretty convenient, isn't it? Just not meeting the right people. It probably makes more sense that you've only seen me in the void, like this, on some stupid crusade. It's only a matter of time before I mess that up too.
Well, you know what? Let me be the judge of that. Tell me about yourself. What were you like before all this? Excluding the Grace Killer thing, because, well, that's the grey area we're trying to move past.
Well, I don't remember much from before that. It's all kind of a blur. Some of it's memory loss. I know that. It came with the territory, but the rest, I don't remember much before the Black Stars. Okay? But I remember after that, I did a lot of jobs. I worked retail God knows how many times, so I'm used to dealing with fussy people. I met some people, but I didn't stick around long enough for us to get too close. I worked as a stagehand for a bit. I wish I could have seen the Lion King musical, but I barely missed it coming to my theater. Actually, Grace, you asked me before if I had any dreams, and I did at some point, I think. I liked music a lot, especially hip-hop, R&B. I liked writing a bit too. I wanted to be artsy, cheesy as it was. I would make up stories in my head. Sometimes I'd write little snippets, poems on the side, raps you could call them, but everyone did that back then, I guess. I also wanted to have a family, people to love and who love me back. Again, guess it's super cheesy, but I would always imagine having a wife and kids so I could love them. Something normal. But, like I said before, I threw that out the window. Who could ever love a beast and all that?
Oh, well, those are good aspirations. Well, as for the love stuff, I'm far from an expert. But you don't know for certain that nobody would love you.
Grace, come on. Let's be real. Even if someone did love me, it would be a massive mistake. Look what I did. Think about what I could do.
I know what you did. And, of course, I've considered what else you could or might do. And I'm still here, Junior.
No, you don't get it. If she can backslide like that and still end up hurting people, even if she's trying, who's to say I won't end up hurting you? Why are you even friends with me?
Because you try to help us. All of us. Even her, even if she doesn't deserve it. But you never ask for anything in return. Selfless people are hard to come by in my line of work.
I mean, it only makes sense to. You all got stuck here not really knowing what was going on, and it only makes sense to help you get what you want. I don't exactly want anything back. It's just the right thing to do.
Well, would an evil person be doing the right thing at all?
I don't know.
Well, this is a complicated matter. Maybe this is a conversation for another time, but right now I don't like seeing you sad. So, well, let's at least work on making you feel better. Here, I've been practicing these. Let me tell you a joke.
A joke. Grace Garden telling a joke.
I'm professional, yes, but I'm not incapable of humor, I think. Let me try this. Knock knock.
Oh my god, okay. Who's there?
Said.
Said who?
Said me. I just said it right now.
I'm sorry, what?
I just can't believe it. There you go.
Hey there, Val. Whoa. You doing all right? You, look exhausted.
Oh, Percy. I'm fine. Don't concern yourself with me. There's been a lot recently, hasn't there? Percy, I should be asking you if you're okay. After what Murder God did, I was so worried about you. I mean, I know you wouldn't die, but still.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It may be my first time I'll be in a door slap up by a critter like that, but like I said, I'm made of stronger stuff. I'll be fine. Besides, all them gashes and bruises are temporary. I wouldn't be standing out here right now anyhow, otherwise.
You're right. It just feels like everything is going wrong around here lately. Percy, watch out. Water's about to boil over. Put a stick on it.
I turned down the heat. Sorry, thanks for the heads up, Val. Nearly lost all that precious water.
Well, we aren't on water rations. Still, it would be a mess. Say, what are you making anyhow?
This? It's macaroni and cheese. Good old Southern Comfort hospitality food right there.
Ah! Oh, I see. It's a noodle dish. I can see how that would be popular.
Well, it's not so much about the noodles as more so the cheese. You see, back on the ranch we had a lot of options for dairy. One day we were told about this here dish and, well, Mama wanted to put her own spin on it. That pretty much what you're looking at right now, anyhow.
Oh, so it's a family dish then. Oh, that's so sweet, Percy. But maybe I can help you cook it. I've never really cooked before, so it might not be all that great, but I'll still help you out.
Oh, you sure you don't mind? I mean, I'd love to help, but only if you really wanna.
I just offered, didn't I?
That's a fair point. Well, let's see. Oh, all right there. So you see that there block of cheddar over there?
This?
That's the one. We're gonna need to grate that there until we have about 2 cups of the stuff. I just need to take that there little steel contraption with the holes in it and rub the cheese against it for just a bit. Just till you got enough.
Okay. Tell me when we have enough.
That looks great, Val. Perfect. Now, if you could put all that into the pot here, we can just wait for a bit until it melts.
Okie dokie. In it goes. That's easy. Do you cook often? Seems like it takes a lot of time.
Well, cooking ain't too different from your sewing when you really get right down to it. I mean, sure, it takes an awful lot of time and sometimes even more effort, but it's a kind of skill that has a lot of love put into it. And part of the fun is being able to see all of them smiles on folks' faces when they enjoy what y'all have put together. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Glad to hear that. Kind of like that one right over there.
Yes, clever, pointing out my own smile. Yeah, the products of my sewing, I rarely prefer to keep them. They're much better suited as gifts.
I take it that's why Thorn was wearing such a pretty little thing down there on the beach then.
Yes, I made that for him, and his smile just made my day so much brighter. Even despite... well...
Valencia, you alright?
My apologies. My thoughts have been so adrift.
Hey, don't worry none about that. Anyhow, we still have some time before the cheese melts, and I just so happen to have some leftover cornbread. It may not be exactly fresh, but I mean, I'd say it's still pretty darn good if I say so myself. Why don't you help yourself to some if you want, at least.
Cornbread? I've never heard of this. Thank you, but I couldn't just eat this alone. Why don't we share some?
It would be my pleasure, Princess.
Alright, Thorin, I think you got the hang of this. I'm gonna get some water. You have fun. Oh, hey, Yugo.
Ah, hey, Haley. You and Thorin having fun?
Yeah. You know, I overheard you talking about adopting the Angle Biter. Kid like Sega, but don't get him Sonic 06.
Oh yeah, even in my time, that game is a tragedy.
More like a trash ditty, am I right? Feel like it'd be right up MG's alley.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I mean, at least future Mario looks pretty awesome. Does Sonic ever get good again?
Well, be on the lookout for a little game called Sonic Mania. It's good. Real good.
That's a relief.
You know, you and your husband, I think you're gonna be great dads.
Oh, thank you for saying so, Haley. That's really nice to hear. You know, it's a big step. And in some ways, it is a little scary. But I think that more than anything, I'm glad. I'm happy to be able to offer Thorin a new home.
Yeah, man, someday I hope Kate and I get married, and, well, it's kind of late for us to make our own. But we definitely want to adopt once we're both good and ready. It's nice that we could put together a family like that.
Yeah. You know, I guess the silver lining in all this is that it's made me really appreciate every moment and just make the best of what I have. You know, to help people where I can and be there for people when they need me. It's also made me really appreciate the fact that family really is who you surround yourself with. You, Thorin, Dev, everyone. I mean, you all mean so much to me, and it makes me hopeful for the future when we all get out of here.
You're absolutely right, Yugo. You know, family could be a crazy gang spanning time and space, consisting of soldiers and princesses and normal folk like us. Everyday folk. And Yugo, with how much you were there for me when I was going through my crap. You might as well be family at this point. Like, yeah, you probably saw my dad, you know, car crash.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have had someone to turn to for emotional support when I lost the one person who really could.
I did see the crash. I'm so sorry, Haley. You know, you're a really strong person yourself. I don't know if you realize how strong you make everyone else feel just by being here. You've got so much energy and passion, and it's really inspiring. And honestly, I guess I'm just proud to get to be your friend. And I'm just happy that I get to know you, even if it's under these weird circumstances.
Always thought that just made me the resident screwball. Nope, no bad talking yourself, Haley. You're better than that now. But really, Yugo, I'm glad to be your friend too. Always the emotional bedrock we can rely on. Dev's a lucky fella to have you.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about him. He offers so much care and compassion just by being who he is. And I thank my lucky stars every single day that I get to be with him.
I feel the same way with Kate. Hey, man, that hot ass. I love her so much. Yeah, you probably remember. I thought she was too good for me, but I'm trying to work on that. And I'm sure she'll be happy if I'm happy. She was just so kind and loving, and I can't wait for the day we get to be in each other's arms again.
Sounds like you really care for her. And by the look of things, I think she really cares for you too. Everyone deserves a second chance. And we're gonna make sure you get yours.
Now hang on, buddy. You gotta get your piece too, yeah?
Of course. Dude, I'm gonna do all I can to make sure we all get out of here. I mean, kids gotta have a home.
Yeah. Good kid, that Doran. Say, never had a chance to ask before since you woke up while I was still, me, King D. But how'd you and Dev end up getting together?
Yeah. I mean, wait. Oh yeah, you don't know that story, do you?
Yeah, I wasn't awake, no.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Deb was my campus tour guide in college, and we actually started bonding over video games, Wind Waker specifically. One of our favorite games together. And
Yeah.
I mean, during the tour, I kind of invited him back to my room so he could show me some tips on how to get further, and it was pretty much history from then. I mean, he supported me when I felt lost after college, and I just didn't have much direction. He encouraged me to follow my dreams as a musician, and thanks to him, I am able to do what I love. And I guess thanks to him, I really feel like I've found where I belong.
God, that's wonderful. Man, I'm so glad he was able to do all that for you too. I hope you two live happy lives after all of this BS. The stab, and kill, all of that stuff.
Yeah, me too. God, I really do. And I hope Kate gives you a second chance. I mean, just be your normal, awesome self, Haley. And I think you have a good shot at patching things up.
If I know her, she's gonna kick me in the shin for leaving and tell me to never do that again, and also probably say the F word a couple times. And believe me, I won't. It's kind of a shame my first experience with those, quote-unquote reflections was with Kate. After her, Ezra's mom was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, poor Ezra. I'm glad yours wasn't that bad.
Yugo, I kissed her. I think that's a little better than not bad.
Yeah, okay, good point.
Man, I hope she's still a star at water polo. Kate works so hard, and honestly, that inspires me to do so too. I want to come out of the void a better person for her, someone who would never run away from life because I think I'm worthless. Clearly, I'm worth something to her. Maybe a little more than just something, actually a lot.
I think you're already a better person. I think you're awesome, Haley. And it's obvious you care for Kate a whole lot. It's really beautiful to hear how you talk about her. And regardless of what happens, you're a stronger person for yourself. That's something to be really proud of.
Thanks, Yugo. It really means a lot.
Well, you're welcome, Haley. I mean, that's what family's for, right?
Yeah. Hey, if you're ever in Western Mass, well, Kate and I are both in college. You and Dev ought to drop by. Yeah, I do jazz.
I'd love to.
Okay, Val. Just a second. And open your eyes. Ta-da!
Wow, Ezra, you got the pool filled up. How?
I bugged the big bird about it for a while ago.
Oh, that's very good. And I suppose that's why I was asked to wear my bathing suit.
Yes. I kind of realized that I don't know everyone that well, besides a few folks, and I want to get to know everyone personally.
I understand. I've been meaning to get to know everyone better too. Especially you, a newbie. It's important to get to know each other right now. And I assume we'll do so today by swimming? Do you feel comfortable in the water, Ezra?
I mean, shit, it's been a while. The last time I swam was high school. I wouldn't mind a bit of help going through while I get back into the habit.
I'll gladly help you. I'll get into the water first then. I'll just toss my towel into this chair. Oh, the water's just right.
I won't know until it hits my hips.
Indeed. How are you going to get into this pool?
I can lower my seat.
Okay, I'll kick at you.
Okay. Hey, this isn't so bad. I'm sinking.
Hold on, I got you. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. Wow, you're really close.
Oh, my apologies. I can hold you out further if you want.
No. It's okay. I don't mind.
If you say so. Shall we swim in some deeper water?
Yeah, I'd like that a lot.
Are you okay if I hold you out here by your biceps? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Great. And, I'm sure you may be able to guess, but in my lands this would be fairly, taboo. I imagine it isn't in the future, and I'm open to trying new things, and, well, I'm having fun!
Yeah, in my time this was, it's a fairly normal thing, but in my house, well, that's a different story. I wasn't really allowed to interact with people much.
I understand. I wasn't allowed to leave the castle at all. I've read some of your timeline's fairy tales. Tallest room in the tallest tower? That was me.
What was your princess life like? I'm sure it's gotta be weird being thrust into something so modern, so futuristic.
Oh, the transition was difficult waking up. Even lights were strange. Although, in Pravam we had many things that you do not. Not all that I consider such a bust. Like magic and dragons, unfinished road systems.
You had dragons?
I was surprised to find out that you didn't.
Pravam, I'm not sure I've heard about that place. You had an entire kingdom.
It wasn't mine, per se. I was set to inheritance, but that was truly all entitled. My father married into the royal family and was controlling the throne in accordance with the Black Stars' cult, which, by the way, is also a lot more prevalent at home. And the only reason he kept me around is to maintain the facade and keep me for a sacrifice. Eventually there was a political uprising, and then I was here.
Holy shit.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I said too much.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I just had no idea you dealt with so much. God, I bet you're glad to be here rather than there, yeah?
Yes, indeed I am. And in such great company.
Well, your company's pretty great, too. So, how about that magic, huh? I've seen some of it before, but what all can you do?
Oh, I have my pyromancy, which you've seen, of course, but I also have light magic. It's genetic, sort of. But I've been trying to lay off of my magic use a little. But please, enough about me. Tell me about what you did. You excelled in nearly every area, yes? And I hear you wrote some excellent stories.
Yeah, I was big into athletics for most of my life. I was kind of trained for it after all. I did a lot of swimming during my later academic years, so this is a lovely refresher for me. I loved writing, though. I swear I had tons of characters from it.
I can tell you must have been great at swimming. You just seem so natural in the water here. And your characters, if I remember correctly, your affections with them, yes? Oh, they were all so vibrant. And some even reflect parts of your own personality. There's one, Twink.
Oh, you meant that one?
Oh, yes. He was so charming. I didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah, he was speaking Japanese. It's one of the languages I learned when I was little. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm certainly not bad.
So, if you still remember it, would you mind showing me some then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of put on the spot, but Sai no rincho hime, kimi no borundo no kami wa kurima iru, no kawa no yo ni nagarawasu.
Amazing. I speak some other languages myself, not to just put you on the spot. After all, speaking other languages is important for a princess.
Well, don't be shy, let's hear it.
Okay, let's see. Vous parlez en telle façon.
Oh, what language is that?
Oh, that's Lapida. It's from one of our neighboring kingdoms. We trade with them for fish and spices and some textiles. It was just official royal business.
Royal business, huh? Like public relations, suitors, perhaps? God, you had to have had a lot of those, huh?
What makes you say that?
Well, why wouldn't I say that? You just seem so wonderful.
Well, that's very sweet of you to say. You're quite charming,
I'm glad you think so. You're a charmer yourself, you know that?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. You're awfully close, Ezra.
You don't mind, do you?
No, I don't think I do.
Holy smokes, the pool's filled! Cannonball!
Hello, Haley.
Oh, hang on, it'll good.
That was surprising.
You are so right.
We should go get right off.
Yeah, you are so right.
Hey, Percy, you got more than a little banged up. I'm just checking in on you. You okay?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Junior. Yeah, I'm all right. It's actually amazing how quickly everything heals around here. I mean, just a few bruises here and there, but no more than that, I think.
I'm sorry, man.
Gosh, everybody's being so apologetic today. But I mean, what are you sorry for, Junior? You didn't do anything wrong.
For not telling you guys about all this sooner, but I guess also for telling you it all. That's a whole complicated thing. I just wanted to keep you guys safe, but I've been holding on to things for a long time, and it feels like lying. I just feel like I could have been more helpful.
Junior, what you did back there was more than help. More help than we even had to begin with. I mean, not just letting us know about all them almighty fellas, which, granted, that might take some getting used to. But, I mean, if you hadn't even stepped in when you did with that, Baku... thank you. If you hadn't even stepped in with him, our heads would have gone kablooey.
All I did was scream at you guys to get down.
Maybe, but that's sure a heck of a lot more than saying nothing. Were you aware she could do that whole, flap, caca thing?
Not entirely. Not really. sorry, makes sense, but I'm guessing it was because of the lack of murder that made her go all bird-y.
I suppose that makes some sort of sense. I never really imagined being forced to stop all that they're killing could do something like that to her, but I mean, after what you told us there, it kind of adds up. Actually, I'm a bit surprised that Miss M never really told Thorn any of this. What with all them being friends and all.
I mean, I don't think they're friends anymore. What she did to you was kind of brutal. She really messed up.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course she did, but don't we all?
Excuse me, Percy Blackwood.
Oh, golly, I just had to tell this to Thorn. Now I'm telling you this? I mean, she was just trying to patch herself up, yeah? If she was doing that willingly, she would have told us to get back. She wouldn't have told us to get back. Seems like she was trying to protect us, and if anything, I probably should have listened to her. Look, bettering yourself ain't easy. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. Said this already. Listen, if you can get all past that and improve yourself for the better, then it's worth it all in the end. Besides, nobody does anything like that solely to be evil and all, you know? I know that I may not exactly be the brightest bulb in the shed. I'm entirely willing to admit that, this may be some sort of naivete. I know the way y'all look at me sometimes, but I mean, then again, I am also friends with some sort of former serial killer after all.
We're friends?
Of course we are, Junior. I have fun chatting with you. If I didn't, I don't think I'd have agreed to meet you there at that, what was it, Olive Pardon back at the mall. I mean, for heaven's sake, we ended up in Italy for a good while. That was a lot of fun.
We actually shared the breadsticks. You don't do that with just anyone.
Exactly. And my point is, I hope you agree, that at the end of the day, we're friends. And look, I accept your apology, I do, but I promise I don't think anything ill of you for it. Junior, what you did there in the past, it doesn't reflect who you are now. I genuinely have faith in you, Junior. You're like a brother to me.
Oh,
Junior, you're fine. If you don't believe me, you can ask some of the others. Maybe start with Valencia, I mean.
Valencia might be the hardest one to talk to, actually.
I mean, maybe. Look, I don't know. Look, granted, I know that sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to speak to some folk than others, but I have confidence in you. I think you'll be able to pull it off, Junior.
Thanks, Percy.
Doctor? I'm sorry. I'm still unhappy. And I know you are too. But what I said was uncalled for. You know what? I'm not even going to justify it as heat of the moment. I just want to be done with this pettiness.
What is it with today and people giving me apologies that they don't mean? 2 weeks. I give you 2 weeks maximum before you find something else to interrogate me about, or call the most heinous thing you've ever heard, or something else. Save yourself the time. Take back the apology. You barely mean it now, and in 2 weeks you definitely won't.
I won't take it back. I'm done with this. I don't want any more regrets.
Well, then by all means keep playing the game with the rest of them. Eventually, she'll win, you'll all be sent home, all of destiny will be in the hands of a murderous, petulant child, and you won't remember any of this, let alone regret it.
Well, I still hope you find your peace, Doctor.
I won't.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Hey, Vincent. What are we drinking tonight?
It's a bar of infinite possibilities, my friend. Whatever you like.
In that case, how about your favorite whiskey? Neat.
Coming right up. So, what's up, Yugo?
Oh, whew. That obvious, huh?
I hardly see anyone grab a drink without coming to talk to me, so call it a hunch.
Fair enough. Whew. Man. This is good. What's the year?
1912.
Woo! 100 years sure tastes pretty good.
Oh, yeah? Only about 6 for me, but still pretty good, I guess.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I certainly appreciate it. Say, Vincent, when did you know you wanted to be a dad?
Huh. Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't gotten that question yet. Probably say I knew for sure about right after my daughter was born. Had no idea how it was going to go before then.
Oh, so you weren't prepared for that at all.
Nope. No. After we found out Abby was pregnant, we were both downright petrified. I swear the look she gave me was practically saying, "God damn it. Really? This is the guy?"
Well, you know what? That actually makes me feel a little better. I'm a little scared about the process of being a father myself. And Deb and I have never, we never really knew if it would happen for us. And all of a sudden, someone who needs me comes into my life.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. You get terrified about all the prospects. They shoot past you at 1,000,000 miles an hour every second, right up until you actually have one. Then this little freeloader fucking waltzes right out of your wife, right into your life, screaming and crying, and absolutely in need of care, and you just kind of can't not. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Thanks, man. The other bigger part of me is honestly looking forward to it. I can't wait for Thorn to meet Dev. At least we get to skip the diaper wearing phase, right?
You're definitely not missing much. Just do your best, learn as you go, all that. If you ever get lost, just ask another parent. They're brimming with advice that they just cannot wait to give someone else. Trust me, never heard the end of it. Though, that being said, lightheartedness aside, with everything going on and how you've been talking about this, you seem pretty serious. So you really think we're all gonna get out of this okay, huh?
Yeah. I really do.
Oh man, that guy was 100% what I did. Oh man, the look at Jack Junk's face.
Sorry, Haley. Jeez, my bad.
No. It's cool. Hey, I'll say it that you look like your mind's running at 100 miles an hour. Something up?
Aside from, everything, sorry, actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this again for the 5th time today. I'm sorry about everything.
About the whole thing with the black
Telling you about the gods and putting you in danger thing, and the not saying I was in a cult thing.
Hey, look, man. It's all good if you ask me.
I still actually... Oh god, Haley, I haven't told you everything either. I guess. So, do you know this thing called BuzzFeed Unsolved?
BuzzFeed Unsolved, yeah.
Yeah, apparently, I was an episode
Wait,
of it.
what? You're famous?
Infamous.
Which episode?
Grace Killer.
Oh, like with the 17...
19.
19. I see.
Yeah, Christine Forks was here, actually, and that's a whole can of worms. She's gone now, and I can't say things are okay, but at least she's not here.
Wait, she was here too? Man, talk about awkward. I mean, don't. I imagine that would probably dredge up some pretty bad crap.
The cult stuff is,
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, not from experience, of course, but yeah, being part of a cult for a murder god probably entails doing murders, but, like, looking at you now, it's kind of hard to believe you are the Grace Killer. I mean, it's not as if you're doing any Grace killings anymore, yeah?
No, not really. Aside from game things, I stopped after Christine's family. Couldn't do it anymore.
Couldn't, and from the looks of how you are, probably wouldn't again. Or at least wouldn't wanna. Is that right?
I don't want to. God, do I not want to.
So, there you go. I mean, sure, there are those schmucks who do terrible things and never try to make amends. And then there's those who do try. No matter how low they dip, they try to climb out. And that sounds like what you're trying to do, Junior.
Thanks, Haley. I just really hope Valencia feels the same way. I've been keeping things from her the longest. She's kind of when I decided to start keeping things. I didn't want to hurt her like that. She already has connections with the cult herself, and I didn't want to cause any problems. You know, being a serial killer isn't exactly a warm conversation starter, and I thought maybe we could be friends. It's selfish, I get that.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you it's not selfish, and then I can see why you'd want to protect both yourself and her. But, you know, eventually the Jenga tower is gonna come crashing down, and you gotta be able to pick up the pieces. It's a lot of baggage you got on your back, and sometimes when you drop it to rearrange it, some things get broken, and that's how it is. I know, you know, it ain't easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to her. Again, thanks, Haley.
Hey, Junior, you're a good guy, you know? Yeah, I know it can be hard to see, but, you know, others will know if you put in the work. Even if they don't realize it right away. Alright, go tuck the veil, I got places to be.
Hey, Valencia.
Junior? What is it?
I wanted to talk to you about things.
Junior, is this about...
Yeah, it is. I wanted to apologize for everything. I've been keeping things from you. A lot of things about me. And it's a lot, and I'm so sorry.
Well, the apology is... It was wise, Junior. I don't know how you could expect me to accept this. I accept that keeping knowledge of the Black Stars was for our safety. But if your past is inexcusable. And I still don't think you're telling the whole truth.
Wait,
Don't think I'm oblivious. I know that the cult of my father's cult would take people into the forest and they would never come out. Those were my countrymen. What did you do? Did you take people away from their homes, their families, their children? So you did. You tore people from their homes and, what, sacrificed them? Killed them? For what? Murder God's approval? And you kept us a secret from me. From everyone who you could, you didn't even tell us. Furthermore, how many people did know? How many people were lying to me? Are they in the cult too? By the gods, I wouldn't even know. Who else is trying to kill me? Maybe that's why no one ever said anything about my sickness.
Wait, no, Valencia, it's just me. I'm the only one who was keeping that from you, and I don't even know what's going on.
Yes. Murder God even said she didn't know what was going on with me. But how do I know that wasn't a lie? After a conversation where she tried to apologize, she turned into a giant bird monster and killed Percy! So how does that look?
Bad. It looks bad. All of it looks so bad, and I know I can't promise you anything because why should you believe me? I can list off all the reasons it looks bad. I'm just some dope from another dimension who was in a cult that's done nothing but hurt you and the people you care about for your entire life. I didn't expect, how could I ever expect you to trust me? I just thought the least I could do was apologize.
Apologize? Do you think that if my father apologized, I'd be content?
No, that's not what I'm getting at. No.
Junior, I might be able to forgive you, but you've kept so much from me. You avoided me, and you lied to me, and I just couldn't figure out why you seemed to hate me so much. I wanted to be friends with you so badly because I thought you were like me, but you're really like Artorias instead.
Valencia,
No, I can't. I can't be here anymore. I don't want to see you right now. For a while.
Valencia. Oh, God.
It's all right. It's better to try and fail than not to try at all.
So, Sherlock, you and Doc certainly hit it off, eh?
Oh. You were listening?
More like it's hard not to overhear. Seems like every other week the two of you have some kind of spat.
Yes, I know. I mean, I'd prefer if we didn't, but... Oh, he's right. I do keep asking the wrong things at the wrong time.
Yeah. You're a real analyzer, eh? I'll always gotta have the gears turning.
Pretty much. Old habits are hard to break.
See, that's just the thing. You need to give yourself a break. Like, what, how old are you? 21? 22?
20.
Jesus, you're like only a year older than me, and you're already all wound up in this whole mysterious what man business. Among the other things, including murder and all of that.
Well, it's what my uncle always told me. When a mystery's in front of you, every clue is essential. Look, it all fits together like a puzzle piece, except the puzzle is big and messy and complicated. But even through all that, there's still a solution you have to find.
Listen, I mean, most kids our age, we're worried about, like, midterms, and while Nida's doing reading we were supposed to do 2 days ago.
I'm sorry, midterms? Is that like an exam or something?
Yeah, big test, middle of semester. You went to, like, detective college before being a detective, right? Do they have, like, detective college for 16-year-olds in the UK?
About that, I actually kinda skipped all of that.
Okay, while I'm glad you never had to undergo the torture that was pre-calculus, is it, like, okay to rush a kid through detective training and all that?
Well, I kind of learned it my whole life.
Pre-calculus or the detective stuff?
The detective stuff. Look, when my uncle wasn't working, he was homeschooling me, teaching me everything I needed to know, ever since I was about 7 or 8, thereabouts. I mean, I kind of assume I would have needed some qualifications down the line. But then the war came about, and half of Scotland Yard was conscripted to fight on the front, so my uncle pulled some strings and managed to get me in.
Okay, Grace, what's the square root of 4?
Haley, I have no idea what a square root is.
Oh, Christ on a bike. Did you have any kind of, like, childhood at all? You were, like, thrown into police academy. You were homeschooled and didn't get things like math or bio. You didn't get to have friends. There was frickin' Hitler. Did you ever at least, like, touch a seesaw or something?
I mean, if I did, I can't really remember. Childhood memories are a bit blurred.
Talk about an understatement. You have a lot of living to do. And, yeah, I know. Pot calling the kettle black and all that. Trust me. I'm trying to get back to Kate, but as for you, well, I mean, after you guys kick some Axis ass, that kind of takes priority, but have you considered, like, learning to live a little?
Well, I have been thinking about it. When the war's over, I want to start my life over in Scotland. And, actually, Haley, I'm not sure what I can do. I mean, maybe I'll go back to school first?
It's never too late for that, yeah? But while we're here, you don't have to throw yourself into every mystery that crosses your path. You'll fry your brain trying to figure these things out, especially with the doc sitch.
Okay, well, I know the doctor needs space, and I'm gonna give him that space, so maybe that will help me breathe a bit easier, at least.
Yeah, also, doesn't the doc have, like, 500 of those, like, personalities or masks or whatever you call them? I feel like you'd suffocate between all of them.
Believe me, I've lost track of how long they've already been suffocating me.
And there you go. Just relax a bit. Here, your shoulders are up to your ears. Put them down. Take a deep breath.
Whew. Is this better?
Yes. Much.
Okay, yes. This does feel a lot better.
Cool. Don't let him float back up. You gotta chill.
I'm trying, Haley. I just have bad posture.
Well, Grace, you're a real piece of work, but you still got time to live. Assuming we get out of here, but that's what we're all working towards, yeah?
Of course. Oh, I have a feeling it'll be a lot easier with you here.
Don't start mushing. You saw my story. I'm taken.
And I'm not interested.
In my time, we call that asexual. Or aromantic.
Oh? Oh, well, in my time, we call it being a spinster.
Well, nobody's gonna call you that here. Hey, listen, if you ever want to hang out, ring me up, yeah?
Why would I need to ring you up? You're right here.
Alright, Sherlock, lighten up. Lesson 1. People use idioms.
Oh, that's another one. Oh, okay. Give me a second. I need to note that down.
You're writing these down? Man, Grace, sometimes it's about thinking with your heart. Like, not in a love way, of course, but with the feelings. That you were, probably told to repress because of your analytical job.
Then maybe I'll make an exception this time.
Come on. What even is this? What's the difference between I don't. Heck. Okay. How does Vincent do this? Does he just pour the liquor in? I don't know. Doc, do you make your own drinks? How do you do this?
I usually just pour it straight in.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That does not seem right.
Well, then you can figure it out for yourself.
Okay, sorry. What am I even doing? I'm only trying to make a drink because I'm, upset. God, is that why you're always here?
Yes. Usually it works. Unfortunately, also usually, people come over here and start believing either that I am a therapist, I am in need of a therapist, Or in one case I need not name, a suspect for interrogation?
Grace is trying.
You say that as if I should care.
Right. That's your thing. Not caring. I'm sorry. Genuinely forgot for a second, but still, she's getting better.
Really? How many times has she been told to back off? And how many times has she actually done so? The answer for the latter is 0, by the way. At this point, I'm beyond assuming incompetence, and I'm sure she's doing this out of spite.
She's not doing it intentionally, Doc. She's just not very good with people. It's a pain, but she's learning.
That's enough, Junior. If you're here to do what you always do and defend terrible people, you can save us both some time and leave.
Wait, what are you doing? Hold on. Really?
Really? Yes, really. You know, the actual goddess of murder? The one who tortures us constantly? Perhaps you've heard of her. She tore Percy open. She's flayed multiple people alive. Yes, multiple. Yet apparently that's okay. Everyone, from you to Mr. Reed, is either shrugging their shoulders and saying, "Oh, whatever, I'll do what she says, it's fine," or outright saying she's a good person, immediately after scenes of horrible maiming and death.
Vincent isn't just doing whatever she wants.
What else am I going to do? I believe, were his words. Shrugging and giving up, which apparently is fine now, but wasn't when he wanted to go back to sleep after World War II.
You know, Doc, I noticed you got really quiet before Baku showed up. Hadn't really seen you like that before. It was right after Ezra told the story. That wouldn't happen to do anything with, I don't know, World War III, would it? So, you do care about World War III. Don't bother denying it and ignoring how hypocritical that is in light of Vincent's ordeal for a second. I'll allow you to save face. If you can care about something as incredibly human, such as World War III, after all the bull you've been through, and it's been a lot of bull, maybe, just maybe, you have it in you to care about other things, too.
Oh, that's so considerate, Junior, deigning to let me save face. How very big of a man you must feel, so very appreciated, from the man who was just talking about how nothing matters.
Oh, okay. You're right. I did say that. But you know what I just realized? Just now, in this very messed up situation, I don't want to walk around not caring about things. That sucks. We at least gotta try something, and I guess I'm gonna start trying things again.
How very noble of you. Foolish beyond all reasonable doubt, but at least you can feel proud of your own nobility.
Oh, it's not being noble, it's just doing the right thing, and maybe that's foolish. It looks like you're having a lot of fun over there being smart.
Are you finished?
You know what? I am finished.
And thank you, Junior, for letting me know where your allegiance lies, and what you really feel about me.
Doc, no, that is
Junior.
not what... Fine. Okay. I'm just gonna go, and we're just gonna... Hey, Vincent, are you reading?
Huh? Yeah.
What are you reading?
Ulysses? Or, I think it's like Ulysses, maybe? I can't tell.
You're reading Ulysses.
Yeah. Pretty much the only thing to do around here is to read other than drink, and no one really ever wants to drink with me aside from Grace for like a few minutes before she fucks off to hyper focus on something. So I figured I'd just figure it out. And I did, to an extent.
Well, you know what? It might not seem sincere right now, but I genuinely mean congrats.
Thank you.
Sorry, I kinda in a spot right now. Guess who just joined the Doc Hates Me Club?
I'm assuming by the way you're talking about it that it's you. Want to talk about it?
No.
You sure?
Stop that thing you're doing right now, Vincent Marshall Reed. There is nothing to talk about. Doc hates me. He hates everyone. He's a sociopath. I acknowledge that he is a sociopath. I understand that, and I try to respect it as much as I can. I know, it makes sense. It's fine.
Kinda sound like it's not fine.
God, why do I care? Jesus, why am I so worried? Why am I worried about any of this? I don't even mind that he hates me. I just hates that he thinks I don't want to help him.
Yeah, well, Doc's pretty set on the idea that he knows everything about everyone, and us lowly mortals are idiots bumbling around his ankles like toddlers. The man's got his, mind set in its ways. Not really willing to hear anyone out. You probably care because you just do that. You care about your friends. You consider Doc to be your friend, and therefore you care about Doc. And the fact that he's not willing to let you help him, it fucks with you. It's a normal thing. It happens.
God, I'm barely normal as it is, if you ask. At least Valencia. I'm sorry. Okay. So you know what? Why do I still care about, her? Then her. She ripped Percy in half.
Because you're invested in the idea that bad people can still be good?
Oh, come off it, Vincent.
Which I also strongly agree with, Christ.
Sorry.
And because I bet you assumed it wasn't going to work in the slightest. But the idea that she was making some form of progress gave you hope. Right? Right. Well, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really give a shit she eviscerated Percy. I kinda expected it. As far as I can tell, and as much as I've been told, it's literally in her nature to do some shit like that, to run off blood and shit. So her trying to deprive herself of said blood probably wasn't the best idea when trying to figure out how to help her. Been hearing people calling her an addict for violence, but a wise man once told me, that's kind of like saying we're all addicts for air.
Yeah, I did say that.
So if you ask me, everyone who's trying to help has been going about it pretty reductively. They're going about it like she's a human who needs someone to talk to instead of a god who's, fighting her very nature. Besides, we literally die once every 2 weeks. Pretty sure Percy's fine.
He definitely said he was fine.
Then I don't get what the big deal is, honestly. This is pretty much same shit, different day, only this time she kind of looked like a bird, and people hate her again.
She said in the gazebo that when it gets this bad, her hands just kind of move by themselves. And that's... Oh, I just don't really know how to look at this now. You're right. It's in her nature. But we're back to square one now, so what do we do?
Well, I mean, we aren't really on square one now, are we? We know who we are, we know where we are, we know the game we're playing and all the cogs that go into it. For being at square one, we're pretty fucking stacked. To me, what we do is pretty clear. Play along and fuck shit up. Clearly things can happen that she has no control over and the others don't like. So we find out what we can do. Poke holes and all that, find loopholes. Then we exploit them to our own gains. Just gotta keep our heads on straight and focused on what it is we actually want to do, I guess.
Okay. Well, what do we want to do?
I don't know. Don't know about you, but I'm not really content fucking off and leaving this little disaster to take away the choice of the concept of choice itself. Kind of don't like the idea of the Black Stars existing at all, so I'm at least gonna do what I can.
You really swing for the rafters, huh?
Go big or go home.
All right. Fine. I'll follow you there.
Thank you, Junior. Now, if you'll excuse me, I saw everything that happened over there. I'm gonna go check up on him.
Okay.
Hey, Doc. Still hate me, or have you calmed down? Or both? Both can work.
Bit of both.
Understandable. Want another drink?
I am perfectly capable of getting a drink for myself, Mr. Reed.
Right. God forbid. Just trying to be nice. Go ahead and get it your own, then.
Yeah. So is this going to be another instance of someone giving me an apology they don't mean? If so, I should set up a queue.
No. I have nothing to apologize for. This is just me checking up on our one-sided friendship.
Oh, incredible. You retained that bit of information. Still bad. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I figured. Guess that's why I decided against my better judgment to make sure you had some form of company, since you keep chasing off the rest.
Has it not occurred to you that perhaps I'm chasing off the rest because I don't want company?
It's occurred to me that you're sitting alone here, wallowing in your own depressive state, yes. Do I care if you want that company that you probably need? Not really.
As we discussed before, the list of things you care about is incredibly limited, Mr. Reed. Not caring about my wants checks out.
Yeah, well, consider yourself lucky that your well-being is still one of them.
Agree to disagree?
All we ever do.
Excellent.
So, do you want me to tell everyone to back off?
They might listen to you. Lord knows they don't listen to me.
Might being the key word there, but yeah, I can give it a shot. Grace will probably need some repetition now. Obsessive fool.
Doing the math, at least half of them will probably listen. Still better than zero by a long shot.
I guess. But you know, it's only 'cause they worry.
Well, that's their problem.
A bit. Their worries driven some shit haywire. I can't really deny that. It ain't wrong for them to care, though.
I suppose not. Can't wait for them to start.
If you honestly think they haven't, then you might be a bigger fool than I thought. Maybe you're only good with numbers.
You say these things as if I didn't already know them, Mr. Reed. Sociopath, remember?
Yeah. Apparently. But that doesn't really affect them caring or them showing that they care. They haven't been not caring just because you haven't started yourself. You know, what actually... You know, I have a question.
Okay.
Is it bad to have friends?
In and of itself, no. But I would need to actually have some in order to give a properly researched answer that better reflects our situation.
Okay. Then the experiment begins now.
Nope. Denied. Scientific community vetoes, lack of funding, rework your hypothesis.
Since when did you give a shit about any community? The experiment is actually free to do, just going between you and me, I'll fund it myself, and no. The experiment starts now. Tell me before we get out what your conclusion is.
My conclusion is that you will get out and I will not.
No, Doc. I'm not going anywhere until everyone gets their piece.
You say that as if it is up to you.
Have I ever really been the type of guy you know to care if it is?
Never. Have I ever really been the type of guy you know to not point out fool's errands?
Nope. Always thought it was pretty funny, actually. Still kind of do. Agree to disagree then?
All we ever do.
Hey, Vinny.
Hey, Lottie.
Oh, that was more normal than I expected. How are things?
That is just about the worst starter I think you've ever given me.
I'm trying.
What do you want, Lottie?
Can we talk? Just the two of us?
Sure.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd have to fight you for that.
Charlotte, when was the last time you had to fight me on anything?
Point taken. Well, come with me then. I know just the place. Alright, here we are. Nice cliff, seaside view, added a little cottage and a porch. I thought you'd want something more rustic. Ta-da! Do you like it?
So you definitely want something.
Oh, come on. At least sit and enjoy the view. It used to be my favorite once.
It's nice.
Thank you.
And I see you're doing better.
Yeah. It calms down after a bit. But, you know, nasty business aside, let's see here. Wine seems appropriate for me. Whiskey for you, of course. There. See? You can even pour it for maximum ambiance.
Thank you.
Cheers. Well, this is something. I can't say I thought I'd be drinking with my supposed mortal enemy.
Supposed.
We almost look like friends.
Yeah, well, we almost are. I don't exactly have a very high standard.
Sure, this is just a step above befriending someone after a bar fight, right?
No, not really. After a bar fight, I feel reinvigorated and ready to run down enemy lines because of the adrenaline. Well, we've known each other long enough, I guess. Even if you have been shitty the majority of the time that I've known you.
Fair. More than fair. Shitty doesn't even begin to describe it, really, but I don't want to spoil the mood. I wish there were better things to reminisce on.
Well, there was the time that we voted a puppet as the leader, and then it turned out that the puppet was embezzling thousands of dollars from its owner.
Oh, right!
That was pretty good. I like that one. Or, that time where you made a scenario basically out of paper, so I lit it all on fire.
Oh, come on, you don't even know what no flames please means.
Correction, I know exactly what it means. I'm just not gonna respect it for you.
Rude.
Oh, you want to call me rude? Okay, alright. You remember that time you drowned me for like 2 weeks?
Sorry, I really overreacted. I shouldn't have done
Relax, Lottie. I don't care anymore. Like I said, pain's barely a thing for me. I don't know what you could do to me at this point that would really fuck me up any further.
Yeah, well, I don't really want to fuck up anybody anymore, but I guess that doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, from everything you've told me, not really.
I owe you an apology.
I mean, you kinda already apologized.
Yes, I apologize for the hurt, some of it, and I know that's not enough. It'll never be enough. But I also owe you an explanation, as best as I can give it.
Thought you couldn't talk about it.
I'm not supposed to. But we're running out of time, so I think my audience will be okay if I drop some answers for a price.
What's the price?
You don't need to worry about it. It's not your price to pay.
Is it another one of those situations where I don't have a choice on what I ask?
I will answer literally everything else. I just can't tell you the ending. I'm sure by this point you understand.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, please, just... all you need to do is listen, and in the end, if you still have questions, you can ask. Okay?
Okay.
All So, first of all, as I said, I owe you an apology. When you first woke up, you, took me by surprise, to put it mildly. Like I said, for a long time I was just fulfilling my purpose, telling tragedy after tragedy. But then you woke up and I saw something.
You're just kind of telling me the same shit here,
Shut
Charlotte.
Shut up, I'm getting to it. You woke up and that's when I knew. You were perfect. The hero to my villain, my opponent to my nemesis, or whatever. But you never asked for that. Which, of course, I thought just added to the drama, but it wasn't right. It wasn't fair to you. But I chose you anyway.
Right. So, what do you mean by, chose?
You didn't have to be the hero. There were a few others who could have worked as my protagonist, others who the cast might have united behind. Christine burned brightly enough that her revenge quest could have made an excellent through line. By the same token, Junior's redemption arc had the same power. He'll deny being good enough for people to lead, but we both know that's not true.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that. I've said it since I got my title. Half the people in the lounge right now could probably hold it.
That's true. Haley's the knight, after all, and if that doesn't fit a hero, I don't know what does. Percy could have been central, and this could have all been a coming-of-age story, and Grace...
Well, Grace could... yeah, well, she'd probably need some work.
I mean, yeah, but it would be a good story, her learning to people, as it were.
Yeah, my point still stands.
Honestly, Ezra also would have been a good option, but there were some issues there.
Yeah, you apparently stole him from, Ratman?
It's fine. Baku's the worst. He wasn't doing anything with him anyway.
Glad to know a bunch of us are being tugged around by children playing gods, and my however many great-grandnephew is a doll for him.
I thought you'd caught on that that's just kind of how the universe currently works.
Yep. We are, in fact, in hell.
We are indeed in hell. Honestly, with that in mind, Yugo would have been a perfect option. He's already the heart of the group. I'm pretty sure he could save anyone through the power of love or whatever.
Yep. Yugo would have been a great choice. Hell, he fucking does it already. Comes naturally to him.
Yeah. He's even nice to me, of all people. But I wanted you. I saw the defiance within you, and I thought you could do anything. I gave up hope on changing things a long time ago, but you did something I didn't expect, so I thought...
You thought I could save you.
Yeah.
Well, what did you mean by that?
Let me tell you an old story. Once upon a time, there was a hero. She was a writer, ever tangled in tragic tales of fantasy to escape the dark around her. Little by little, her life crumbled, until all that remained was the sea and a sky of black stars. So of course, when a dark god reached out their hand to save her, she took it. The god gave her a mask and put her into a twisted game, a physical and psychological maze she was meant to run through for an audience. These games had one goal, to break the souls within them, to first dirty the mask, and then peel away layer after layer until a person's core was laid bare. To reveal that people at their base instincts were selfish and cruel, that all would break when forced to gaze into the mirror. For eons, the hero played these games. No matter what happened, no matter the odds, she never broke. She burned bright against the emptiness, clinging desperately to all that was right and true, until one day she tore her own mask apart. She refused to accept the god's cruel truth, choosing instead to make her own. As time went on, she saw that she was surrounded by 9 souls just like her, and so she decided to try to save them. A sniper, a cowboy, a cave woman, a pianist. Souls from other worlds, impossible worlds. A world covered almost entirely in water. A world where sentient robots were possible. A world with half-dragons. One by one she removed each mask, and one by one she won them over with kindness and passion. She laughed, she cried, she found love, she found romance. She gained friends, true friends, a lifetime's worth of bonds forged in purple strain. Finally, she'd woken every soul, tearing each mask to shreds in the process. But she was still only mortal, and what mortal could stand against a god? So she and her friends searched for a solution, a way to destroy their captor. For days they wandered the endless void, ever glimpsed by countless eyes. Finally, they pulled back the walls of their prison, revealing the island behind the curtain. It was here that they found their answer, the Longinus Blade, a lost artifact from the before. Forged in the fires of the Big Bang by 10 mortal souls, the weapon was the Void Manifest, willpower twisted for the express purpose of killing gods. The hero had the 10 souls, but that was not enough. The world the Awakened were trapped in was one of harsh truths and sacrifices. The hero needed to turn the Void physical, pull the weapon from her own prison. After some deliberation, her lover offered her heart, their love manifest in one final sacrifice for the greater good. With tears in her eyes, the hero begged for another option, any option at all. But of course, that's not how the Void works. She pulled the sword from her lover's breast with a kiss. Then she wiped her tears and prepared for the battle intended for her and her alone. The god knew she'd come, of course, and though they held a sword of their own, needle and delicate, they'd never been the sort to resort to brute force. And so instead they laughed. "Catch me if you can," they said, and the chase was on, a game of cat and mouse. The hero was quick, but the god was quicker, always a step ahead or right behind. The two danced across webs of purple string, leaping between nebula, ducking and weaving through moons in a sky of black stars, fighting for all of time and none at all. Finally, the hero struck the god down, driving the Longinus Blade into their chest. She stood over them, panting for breath, wiping the black blood splatter from her face and watching the purple string drain away into nothing. And then the god stood and thanked her for cutting the strings. The Longinus Blade was the wielder's will made manifest, and the hero, as she was not enough. Not enough to kill a god, at any rate, but that hadn't been what the test was about. The god took on a name, Ælethias, the revealer of truths, of desires, of all that was metaphysical. Fittingly, their first action as an Ascended was to reveal the nature of the games. The Void was a collection plate for the Black Stars and an incubator for gods. Ælethias' incubation was now complete, and that meant a new godling had to take their place, lest the Void collapse in on itself and take all occupants with it. Well, the Revealer offered their hand. We could use a writer. I wish I could say the hero hesitated. I wish I could say she thought it through. But I guess even if she had, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. If the choice was between taking the throne or losing the friends that she'd held dear, well, that's not really a choice, is it? And that aside, well, this was an offer for power. Not just some legendary sword, but to be a god. She'd lost so much in the name of destroying the black stars in the sky. If she didn't take this power, wouldn't that all be in vain? The burning started with the handshake, more of an itch at first, but then it began in her toes as well. Then the golden light began to spread up her fingertips, slowly beginning to rise with a heat as she stepped back from her former captor. She watched in horror as her skin cracked and bubbled, then burst into explosive white flame with her scream. She'd burned before, of course. She'd already died countless times in the games, after all. This was worse, endless, setting every nerve aflame, boiling her insides and finding something among the wreckage to burn all over again. It was slicing her apart, cracking open her ribs and tearing out whatever lay within, pulling her to pieces and leaving the ashes to drift into the air. The fire swallowed up her long brown hair in an instant before it eventually took her voice with it, leaving her eyes as white-hot pits in her skull. Her molten tears slashed black cracks into her face, then dripped down her front and burrowed deep into the cavern that had been her chest. Then she didn't feel much of anything. She emerged from the ashes not a hero, but a god, and she had work to do. Her first act was to bid her friends farewell and send them home. stretching beyond the veil to give them every good thing they deserved. This task completed, she turned to her own bonds. Releasing her friends had been little more than a thought, to say nothing for the power coursing through her veins. Why should she be reborn a Black Star when she could surely fight them as she was? But her own red strings wouldn't budge. For all her power, she was still tied to this place, this island tucked away into nothing. She could look out of her prison, stick her hand through the bars, but the hole in her chest was rooted to the void. She was trapped. There were tears, of course. She raised mountains to shatter in boiled seas, screamed every time Ælethias dared to show their face to check in on her. The chasm in her chest ached, and she crafted every pleasure she could think to fill it, only for it to turn to ash in her mouth. Eventually, devoid of hope, she looked to the outside, hoping to at least see her friends happy and well. But of course, those gifts were as empty and lifeless as the power she'd used to make them. All lives she touched worse for her actions. Her apologies were equally useless, falling on the deaf ears of friends who no longer remembered her. Eventually, she had no choice but to begin the games, taking souls and gathering energy in the name of the Black Stars. For eons she played, losing pieces of herself little by little. And then, of course, a hero stood up to strike her down. The cycle continues. So it goes.
Huh. Called it.
What?
I knew it. I had a feeling, and I was right. You're a person.
What? You don't fucking know that. Nobody knows that.
I didn't have to. I met you. We've spent how long in this fucking void? What do you think I talked to you at all?
I'm not a person anymore, Vinny. That's the whole point. As soon as I took Ælethias' hand, I stopped being a person because I became a part of this whole thing.
That's dumb and symbolic and not true at all.
Oh, shut up. You clearly don't fucking get it.
No, I don't think you do. Like, I understand the whole Black Star thing. Your whole mantra is that you're not people. I understand that. But you're also individuals who think of their own accord, who do things because they want to, not just because you have some weird hierarchy, but because you want to. Look at Baku, the guy who apparently has unsanctioned work that he is so scared would get out, left you alone for good. Look at you. You've had us this whole time, and apparently you're not supposed to. You don't even have full control over us. I know you think that once you took that hand, you stop being a person. But I guarantee you, it takes time to chip away.
I've done a whole lot of terrible things, whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah, well, the idea that a person doesn't do bad things is even stupider.
Alright, fine. You're right. I'm a person. I'm a really shitty person. I constantly give in to my worst impulses and ruin lives, and I burn every fucking bridge I build. I say I don't want to be alone, but why the fuck would anyone want to be around me? Of all the temporary names I could have picked, I chose Murder God. Who the fuck does that? I'm an arrogant dumbass who thought all I needed was power, and then maybe I could finally make things right. I thought I'd be different. Hell, I thought I'd be better. But of course, even when I have power, it's all gone to shit. And why fucking wouldn't it? I literally can't do anything right. Every good thing I've ever done is just a placeholder for a bad end. I've accumulated all this power and I can't even fucking use it because it's tied to this stupid place. I'm too emotional to be a Black Star and I'm too everything to be human. No matter what I do, I'm never enough. But you know what? At least I fucking tried. I tried to be good. I tried to be kind. I tried to make people happy. I tried to do right. I know after everything I've done, no one's gonna believe that, but I really did try.
I believe you.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, let it out. It's nice to finally meet you.
I'm not. Thanks. I don't deserve. Thanks. But this isn't enough. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. You enjoy what you can.
I want to stop this. That's all I've ever wanted. But I made a deal, and that deal has terms. Remember when you said to try to help them? The lights in the sky?
Yeah?
Well, that was the plan. I tried something new. I opened a window to a different reality, found a way to harness energy from worlds without Black Star energy. You know, Black Star influence.
Mm-hmm.
A story is always stronger when it gets a reaction from an audience. Smart, right? It's the only thing I've ever been complimented on. Good job making the machine stronger, Godling!
Yep. Pretty fucked.
Well, I thought, since I changed the machine, maybe I could take that power for myself. Maybe I could gather more souls than I was supposed to, build up in excess, and then once I ascended, I could finally fight. But as long as I'm not doing my job, as long as I'm not playing my role, all that power I've accumulated is meaningless.
Okay, well, what do we do then?
Well, what happens at the end of a classic story? The hero strikes the villain down. They end things. I want to break the wheel, but I can't do that while I'm part of it. So I need you to end me.
See, now, the thing about that is it kind of sounds like something that they would expect.
No, I think... So there's this weapon, right? The Longinus Blade? It's the Void's will manifest, and it reflects the user. I barely remember it anymore, but when I stabbed Ælethias, what I wanted was the power to kill a god. So it gave me what I wanted, and I ended up back in the cycle. But you now know this is a cycle, and we both don't want it to continue. If you go in wanting to end this, to end me, well, your will's always been stronger than mine. I think you'd win. I think you'd stop it all.
Yeah, but even if that were the case, I think I'd rather not do that. Besides, it'd be kind of a waste of power, you know? And if the goal is to use that power against the Black Stars, then I wouldn't exactly want to snuff it out. So, let's just sit on that for a while and see what else we can find. I'm sure there's something else.
Well, I guess that's what I like about you. You never seem to agree with me. That's too bad.
Yeah, no offense, but it's kind of a dumb plan.
Oh, I'm doing my best.
Yeah. And apparently, I always do find a way to surprise you, so... Besides, they can see all this, right? Are you getting away with telling me all this?
Well, you're right. I'm not supposed to tell you any of this. But I had to tell someone before... If I'm giving you answers, the Void loves tragedy. So I'll have to execute a twist to make this right.
Whew, am I allowed to know what that means? Or is this kind of going against the point?
No, you're not allowed to know what that means. Sorry, I wish I could tell you, but if I do, that'll ruin everything.
It's alright. I'm used to it by this point. But, what about the kid?
Well, we both know that Thorin wants to leave, but I made him give his soul to the Black Stars. And as long as that's true, he can't leave.
God damn it, he's a kid, Lottie.
Yes, I know, it's fucked. I thought if I kept him, maybe I could do better if I wasn't alone. But you saw how that went. I shouldn't have taken his soul in the first place. That was wrong. But there's only one way to undo that. A sacrifice. A soul for a soul. The death of a hero in a child's name. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
You want a different ending, right? You'd rather not kill me as things are, and I don't want you to end up in my place. Well, that means we need to change the narrative from what it is right now. That means stripping my cast down to 9 souls and 1 stranger. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot to ask. I don't want to ask you to make this decision. I don't want to do this to anyone, but it's the only way I can...
I'll do it.
Vinny, are you sure?
You're asking me to die for a kid. It's not even a question. Of course I'll do it.
I don't know why I'd expect anything else. Alright, here. Take my hand. Let's get this done.
Yeah, no time like the present, I guess. It's a shame. This was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, it was. You're a good man, Vincent Marshall Reed. And that's a damn shame. Let's go back to the lounge, shall we? Alright, everyone. Gather round.
Okay, what do you want, Big Bird?
What is it time for more of your murder games for us to play already?
Well, clearly she needs more blood. Really, when has it been any different?
Guys, come on, don't do this. I'm fine, seriously. I promise.
Alright, so what's going on, Emmy? Why are you here?
Yes, I get it. I'm a bird and you're all worse for having met me. I know. That's the point. That's always been the point. This game was meant to be this big dramatic story between humans and God. But inevitably, you'd all have to get your stories. You all must leave or everything stalls. But I got too attached and I started bringing my personal feelings into it. Started talking about how bad things are outside, fought to not fully grant your wishes because I'm tired of disappointing people. I started trying to keep you here because I didn't want to be alone. I wanted so badly to change things, and that's the problem. I'm the villain. It was always impossible for me to win. So, let's get back to the script, shall we? Come here, Thorin.
No, I don't want to. I want to be friends with you anymore. Never again. Stay away from me.
Don't take another step closer, Beast. We can't allow it. Not after what you did to Percy.
Yeah, no touching the ankle biter, you hear?
Emmy, just stop, okay? Thorn doesn't want to be around you right now. He wants to stay with us. Just let him be.
That's the thing. I can't leave him alone. He made a pact. He swore his name to the black stars in the sky, and they have given him breath. That means he's bound here. Forever. Your fate is sealed, Thorin Blue.
Forever. You're holding him here forever.
I have to. He gave his name. He signed a contract stronger than the rest of yours combined.
He's like 8! He couldn't have even begun to comprehend the severity of this situation, this contract. Clearly, you've been keeping secrets from him already. He's a fucking child.
Well, all children must learn that actions have consequences, even actions taken with good intentions. Of course, I agree it wouldn't be fair for a child to pay for the actions of a selfish god. But someone has to. A life for a life, a soul for a soul. A hero dies, a child lives.
So, someone can trade their life for Thorin?
Correct.
It's gonna be okay, kiddo. Don't worry. I got you.
Yugo Hernandez, step forward.
What?
Me?
You have a hero's soul. The soul of a man who lives by his heart, who strives to pick others up and leads by love. A man who wants nothing more than to leave the world better than he found it. The sort of man who would die to save a child without a second thought.
Wait, no, that's not what we shook on. You said...
I'll do it.
What?
Yugo, no, please! Please don't take him away from me!
The adults are talking, Thorin. Yugo, You understand what you're saying, correct? This isn't like all other deaths you've experienced. Your soul will be utterly and completely claimed by the dark. The world will forget you. Your parents will have never had a son, and your husband will never know your love. Knowing this, do you still agree?
Yeah. I understand.
No, he doesn't. This is some real fucking underhanded shit here, Charlotte. We had an agreement.
I didn't specify. All I said is there would be a twist.
Fucking... God damn it. Yugo. Buddy, listen, you don't have to do this. I'm supposed to be the one doing this. Just tag out on me, buddy. Come on.
So, you're willing to do this? To sacrifice yourself for everyone else?
Of course, what I've been doing. Come on.
Then that's why you need to stay.
Now, see, I know what you're doing there. That's bullshit, and we both know it. In that line of logic, then you should too. So please, for the love of God, Yugo, just get back in line.
No. I can't. I have to do this.
No, you don't, Yugo.
Vincent. Thank you. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Wait, Yugo, please, no. You have everything you could ever want once you escape here. Why would you abandon it? You'd live and you could be happy and... Please, we need you here. We can't do this alone.
Yugo, buddy. Buddy, come on. Think about this, man. What about Dev? Yugo, there's gotta be some other way. You don't gotta do this.
Dev, that's right. That's exactly right. Dev's the entire reason y'all wanted to go back in the first place. Mr. Mendez, if you do this, you'll... Are you sure you really want to do this?
They're right, Yugo. This is too much. You're just going to accept being forgotten completely.
You don't have to do this. I know she called you the martyr, but you don't have to just be your role.
Why are you people going on as if you will change anything?
You're sure? Yugo, you're really sure?
If it's to save a life. Yes, I'm sure. Dev would understand.
It's his decision. None of you get a say in this. Yugo, I'll allow you to say goodbye.
Haley, you're gonna make it back and have a wonderful life. If Kate gives you another chance, you hold her tight with both arms.
I promise, Yugo. I'll hold it tight, I promise. I promise.
Grace. I guess it's my turn to be the hero, right?
Fine. Well, I can't stop you.
Ezra, you're your own person. And you have a family here who loves you. I'm glad that I got to be a part of that family.
There's always another option, Yugo. Yugo, please.
Tommy, believe in yourself. And believe in the others. You're gonna make it out of here, okay?
No, Yugo, I don't think we will. Please, no. You're right. We will make it out of here. We'll make it out of here for Dev, for you, for all of us.
Doc, our past doesn't have to define our future. Everyone, including you, is deserving of a second chance.
Spare me the platitudes, Mr. Hernandez.
Junior, keep letting your heart lead the way. The love you have for others is stronger than any weapon.
Oh, thank you. I'll try. I'll try.
Percy? Val? Take care of the kid for me, okay?
Yugo, you mustn't.
Val. You're a brave soul, Mr. Nantes. God bless you.
Hey there, kiddo. Thorin. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna have to break my promise. Percy and Valencia. They're gonna take care of you now, okay? God. I wish I could be there for you. To watch you grow up into the amazing person I know you're gonna be. Hey. When you get out of here, can you do something for me?
What do you think?
When you're back in the real world, find Dev and let him know that he is truly loved. He may not know what it means, but you tell him for me, okay?
No, please don't go. We were gonna be a family. You were gonna be my dad. No. Please don't go.
Love you, kiddo. I always will. Vincent. Look after everyone, okay?
Yugo, it's not too late, buddy. Come on.
Everyone. Thank you. For being my family. Be strong for each other, and never give up hope. God, I love you all so much. Be good for me, okay? All right, Emmy. I'm ready.
That's not my name. I don't have one. Let's pull back the curtain, shall we? Welcome to the island of Ib. The void without the void, the space between space. Thorin and Yugo, step to the altar.
Oh, I don't wanna.
It's okay, kiddo. Everything's gonna be alright. Here. Hold my hand. We'll go together.
I know stalling. Alright, let's see here. The altar is prepared. The stars are watching. Yugo here on the left. Thorin on the right. No wiggling. That's what the strings are for. All that remains is, well, the knife, I suppose. You know, it's been a long time since I did the job myself. Well, that doesn't matter, does it? Do you have anything you want to say, Thorin?
Why are you doing this? Please don't take him away from me.
It's gonna be okay. I've got you, Thorin. I'm right here. I'm right here. And I'll always be with you. Always.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Thorin. I really did love you. Yugo.
I'm ready. Emmy. You can do a little better. For everyone. If not for you, do it for me, okay? Do it for them. I believe in you.
I wish you were right. I speak of falsification to the stars and the sea, the land and the mind, the revealer at the heart of all desire. 2 souls lay upon the slab, bound by threads of fate to the sky above. One, weighted by action taken, the other, lightened by actions given. Breath was once gifted in the name of protection and power, and that breath must be undone. Yugo Hernandez, will you give this in the name of a child? Will you give your life in exchange for his?
Yes.
Very well. Then the stars take your breath. And it is done.
There's always another way. God, there's always another way. There's always another way. There's always another way.
Oh, look.
Yugo. Come on, man. Yugo, why'd you do it? Yugo, why?
Is the song and dance over? Can we leave now?
Doc. Just go away. For the love of God, just go away.
With pleasure.
Doc, fuck. Lottie! What the fuck?
This was the only way I could think to do it. To create the conditions needed for the endgame. 10 souls must unite to claim a weapon to kill gods. You now have 9 souls on your side and 1 mystery. The path from here is yours to choose, though I'll try my best to help you along it. I owe you that, at least, and there's still a show to wrap up.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. I know what's gonna happen. It's just gonna keep going on and on. You're going to keep throwing red herrings at us, and we'll be right back at the beginning, because look what you've done! You've stolen one of our pieces and rigged the board again! If you really needed the 10 souls, then why did you do this?
Because I can't stop this, and someone needs to. I hope you're sufficiently motivated.
Okay. Fine. You wanted to give us motivation for whatever all this is. We have to find this weapon that kills gods, and we have to use it to kill you. Is that correct?
Correct. This story must reach its end, and we all have roles to play. You are the lost souls meant to stand together against some terrible, unstoppable god. And I am the void given breath. I am the empty chasm in your chest. I am the sky of black stars and the aching drop of the abyss. I am her voice given name and number. I am threads of logic and emotion ever weaving into one. I am the cruel end of sudden stops, the chapter by chapter aging of body and mind. I am the bitter taste of temporary victory on your tongue and the poison of inevitable tragedy flowing through your veins. I am the word which states you are all just root zero. You are nothing, absolutely nothing but dirt beneath our heels. Your struggles are pointless and temporary, pages upon pages meant for feeding flame. I am your author, ever writing your bad end. I am fate. Stop me if you can.
Life finds a way. Live another day. Life finds a way. Live another day. Together